Brooke, welcome to the podcast. Brooke Triplett is an entrepreneur, speaker, and sales expert. She's the founder of She Sells With Brooke, a $10 million per year recruitment and education company that trains women to launch careers in sales and guarantees their job placements with top coaching and professional service companies. She is regularly featured in the media. So, Brooke, tell me about who you are as a person in high school. What were your dreams then? And what did you want to study in college? And did you expect to take this career path?
Absolutely not, in short. I have a vivid memory of myself dancing in front of the mirror. My dad, he bought me this incredible power suit. It was black and I had this metallic top with this collar. And he caught me on camera dancing in front of my mirror singing, "I am a businesswoman." I was 9 or 10 at this point. And for some reason, the dream of wanting to be a business owner left my mind. As you know, in school, you're very much conditioned to be an employee, to have a 9 to 5, to go to uni. So the dream of being a business owner left my mind. And I fell into studying education, became a primary school teacher. While I loved the impact that I was making with these kids, I did not like the idea of being stuck in a classroom for the next 40 years, reading the same books, putting up the same artwork. I had a moment where I thought there's got to be more than the four walls of this classroom.
Mm, beautiful answer. So it seems like you've taken a specific niche of helping and empowering women in various disciplines, one specifically being sales. So first and foremost, why did you focus on helping women specifically, and why the niche of sales?
Okay, so starting with women specifically, I started my sales journey almost 6 years ago now. And I just constantly ran into being the only woman on sales teams. It was just
Mm,
me with a team of men. And I loved that. But learning how to sell from a man, given scripts that have been created by men, I found myself constantly questioning, this just feels out of alignment to who I am. I was constantly getting pushed into my masculine. And every time I
right.
would go to sell, I just felt this, it just didn't feel aligned and ethical and feminine and beautiful. And I had to figure it out myself. So I
Mm,
started to ditch the scripts, ditch all of the strategies and the tools that I had been given by incredible mentors, by the way. And I just started connecting to my feminine, dropping into that a little bit more and figuring out what actually works for me, what works for a woman. And I started hitting consistently 20K, 30K months. It wasn't
what were you
long
selling?
before I was selling menopausal programs to women. And you wouldn't believe, men on my sales team were outperforming me. I mean, you tell me why. I couldn't figure it out. And it was because I
That's
was selling
wild.
from a place of inauthenticity. Um, and when I did start making that kind of money as a mum, I thought I have to share this with other women, other mums, because this is truly life changing. And that's sort of why I focused on women specifically, because I think we all have this fear of what sales is and how it's perceived, and that
Yeah.
we're going to end up being the people in the shopping centers with the hand cream shimmying over to you to try and get your attention. I wanted to change the perception of sales among specifically women because we're so good at it.
Yeah, but you are a savvy business person because, like, those are the stars are aligned for a great business opportunity.
Mm,
Men selling women products to women,
mhm.
and and there's no one else competing with you. It sounds like the perfect place to start building a mountain. And so explain to me, like, what was there like a revelation or this epiphany moment where you realized, hey, whoa, I can really make a lot of money doing this, or like maybe your first big sale
Mhm.
or just some milestone that really triggered you saying, hey, this is the direction I want to invest
Absolutely. I held on to my teaching role for years. Even though I dropped down the hours, I was sometimes only doing 1 day a week, but I held on to the stability and the security of a salary. And then one particular day, I received my salary and my commissions check on the same day, practically at the same time. And it really took me seeing it in black and white. My sales commissions were, I think it was like $22,000, and my salary was $1,800. And I just looked at that and thought, what am I doing? What am I actually doing? I mean, if I could put those same amount of hours into my sales role, I would have doubled, if not tripled my amount. So that was the moment for me. It's not anything crazy. It was just seeing it in my bank account in black and white. And it just made me go, no, I'm done. I'm done with this safe, secure salary that I'm holding on to. I want to start thinking and making decisions from a place of abundance instead of a place of scarcity.
That's such a good answer. And
Yeah.
to build on that answer for just a moment, I've been speaking to you now for 5.5 minutes. And what is very clear to me is that you're an exceptional communicator. It's not even the words you use, it's just the energy you give off. You're confident, you're clear, and you're concise. And extrapolating on your role as a salesperson outwards, thinking of it just slightly more abstract, do you ever feel like, hey, these are skills that I can leverage more abstractly and do a ton more stuff with?
All the time. I mean, you should see the women in my community. They're constantly having identity upgrades. They're getting promoted in their 9 to 5. They're leaving their toxic marriage that they've had for the last 10 years because they're finding this confidence and clarity from being and learning how to communicate and connect. It's a skill set. So when you start practicing and putting these strategies into play, it's not just sales that is going to have an upgrade, it's your whole entire life.
Super cool. Okay, so now tell me more about your book, your coaching world, and what are you currently focused on?
So 2025 was in my world, we lit the match. We started to get seen. We were put on the map. We just had an incredible celebration where we honored the women in sales who have hit 10K, 20K, 30K months. They got to have a stage moment. And 2026 is all about dancing in the fire. So we're really going to start to disrupt the industry. Currently, we don't charge for recruitment, which is really pissing a lot of people off. But I don't believe in that. I want my women to go to good homes where they do have the potential to earn 10K, 20K, 30, even 40K months. And so right now we're disrupting the industry massively. We're connecting good closers with good businesses for free. And we're going to continue to do that for the foreseeable future. 2026 is also about upgrading myself. I need to start thinking as $100 million business owner instead of $1 million business owner. That was a huge transition for me. I went from closing to business owner, found that massive. But now thinking in terms of $100 million business is another whole level that I'm not familiar with. So I
Yes.
need to start, researching and finding like-minded business owners who are operating at that level and learning from them. So much on the horizon. Very exciting times as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in a position to get into giving advice on being $100 million business owner, but I want to talk about your journey
Mhm.
along as an entrepreneur because it's a fascinating one. Making your first $100,000 marks a milestone, and to
Oh,
make your first $100,000, there's a set of mechanics and logic and skills you need to develop, and you can be inefficient in certain capacities and still brute force your way through the process. Like having 10 clients is fine, having 2 employees is fine. But the second you have inefficiencies in the system and you have 4 or 5 employees and 10 or 20 or 30 clients, everything becomes exponentially more difficult. It's akin
mhm.
to you're in college and you take 4 courses and you're fine. And then you take that fifth course that's
Oh,
just a
yeah.
little too much. And then
Mhm.
every course becomes exponentially more difficult. It's very similar with running a company.
Mhm.
And you learn the true complexity of scaling, that you truly don't see it at a smaller scale. So my question to you is, what did you learn at your first $100,000, and what seemed radically different to make your first million? Because your first million is a real milestone that you never forget.
Mhm. You wouldn't believe, I actually feel the first 100,000 was more significant in just expanding my possibility of what I could actually achieve. I Making my first $10,000 month, me and my husband, we danced around the house like we had won the lottery. Like that felt so significant
What
because
was it, like, in a check form? Was it the bank account balance? Like, what
it was
what
a
was it?
bank. It
No,
was
no,
it was
it's
like
nice.
received the notification on my phone that said
It
you
was
have
like
been
now there's
paid
3
10.
digits before the comma, and that's like time to sell. Yeah, it's a good
Yes.
feeling. Yeah.
We'd always joked around saying, if we just had $10,000 in our bank account, we would feel where we could do anything. We would be able to live the lives that we wanted to live. And if for the first time in my adult life, it showed me that I created something from nothing. And so that lit a fire under me. I was like, if I can make 10,000, I can make 20,000. If I can make 20,000, I can make 30,000.
Yeah.
So that felt really significant. In January of this year, I had a really big lesson. And I think this is what really shifted me out of $100,000 thinker into $1 million thinker is we grabbed every single item of food off the buffet that we got really bloated. We brought on so many closures. We started taking every ounce of revenue we possibly could. We bought a villa that we couldn't afford because I looked at the numbers and was like, we are sweet. Running a business is easy. This is just, how can we have this momentum in such early on? And everyone kept telling me, Brooke, winter is coming. It's coming. You need to make sure you're preparing, you're investing back into the business. I was like, no, it's not coming. We are in summer all year long. And so then when winter came, because we had taken our foot off the gas, and obviously when you do that, you lose momentum, you start to become complacent. We really felt it. We almost, I mean, there was months we made nothing. And
Sure.
so this time that we're seeing big success, it's like head up for a brief second. This is fantastic. I'm proud of everybody. Back down, like let's get back to work and keep this momentum going. So the way that I operate is just entirely different. It stopped being me tying my worth to the numbers and going, oh my gosh, I've made it, to actually going, okay, we've built the systems. Now we run and we look up for a brief second to congratulate the success and celebrate, but then we get back down and we just
Yeah.
repeat. Let's go again.
Yeah. Great answer. So, and I want to talk about your goals and objectives because when we're young, I guess what I would say, even when you made your first 10,000, you had
Mm,
all these dreams and aspirations. Imagine I can buy myself a car. Imagine
mm.
I can get my own food and I don't have to rely on anyone. Imagine I can get on a plane and travel to Bali and just have a good time. And the thing about success is that you get those things
Mm.
and then they're no longer impressive. And I'm sure that that applies to you to some extent, where a lot of your dreams from one milestone have significantly changed to another. And I guess that's how it should be. I mean, if you have the same goals for too long, you probably want to look in the mirror and say, "Hey, listen, like, when something needs to change, I need to shock the system."
Right.
So, what was like before you had money? Like, many people are students coming out of college. Like, there's like, "Oh, I wish I had my own car and stuff."
Hmm.
What was it that you wish you had that you have now that you don't even that's not even impressive? And what do you wish you have now that you're aiming for? And then looking at that more abstractly, maybe the stuff we're chasing aren't what's super valuable, and maybe what are you coming to the realization that really does matter?
Oh, I love this question so much. I think we can fall into the trap of I'll be happy when. I'll be
Yes.
happy when I first buy my designer handbag. I'll be happy when I can fly business class to Europe. We fall into that trap and then it comes more regularly and we start to not be excited by that anymore because we normalize it. And then it becomes the next thing. I want to fly in a private jet. And we cannot tie our happiness to material things like that. And I'm going to tell you why. In January of this year, I mentioned I took my foot off the gas and I started to buy, like I said, we bought a villa and I would tell myself, if I had a villa with a pool, and a designated office, I will be happy until we get here. And now I'm like, I don't like this villa anymore. And because I tied my success to material things, what that meant is you're always looking for the next best thing. And so you never actually get to reap the rewards of what you're actually doing. So for me back then, I just wanted to buy a designer anything, a designer handbag, a designer pair of shoes.
Did you grow
I
up with
just
money?
no. Well, I saw my dad make all this money and then lose it almost overnight.
Oh, wow.
He so that put me into a mindset of scarcity and a place of lack, is that everything we get, we lose. And so money would come into the door and then as I saw, it went straight back out. And so that was the mindset that I was in. So no, I didn't grow up with money. I actually grew up without money. And I saw my dad work his absolute butt off to provide
Mm.
for his family. So then when he made all of this money, like I'm talking millions, we had Lambos, Ferraris, for it to all
Wow.
disappear in literally a blink of an eye was the most traumatic experience for my whole entire family. And it really shaped
Wow.
my mindset and the decisions that I made after that. So I wanted to stand on my own 2 feet and be able to provide for myself and my family. But just this nagging little thing that I wanted to be able to do is walk around with a Louis Vuitton bag. Like it, it just, for me, it was like, I've made it if I do that. And so when
Right.
I
And it
first,
wasn't even about the Louis Vuitton bag. It was
no,
it
no,
was what you can prove to yourself that those are the people who I thought had life so much better than I did. And I just want to
yes.
know that I can compete at their level and I can
Right.
do that.
It was also spending that much money on an item, my watching my
Right.
family be able to
Like the
just
FU money, like,
yes.
because you grew up with like nothing, where like everything was like so expensive, and your
Mhm.
mom got some money and she would just buy groceries for the kids, and there was this whole idea of like going to like a dinner and spending $500 on a restaurant is like a
Yes.
crazy foreign thought. And then you see how so many people do it around you, and you're like that is something where I want to be able to do that so
Mhm.
effortlessly. And the thing about growing up with not having very much, uh, it turns you into a warrior. It turns you into a survivor. The need to survive will craft skills that you can never achieve otherwise.
Mhm.
And there's something. Some people are born with money. Some people aren't. But there are certain kinds of people that you can take everything away from them, throw them on an island, and they'll find a way to do it again.
Make money. Yeah, I know.
And it's called being a survivor, and
Mhm.
that's just the best way to live your life because it guarantees that you'll figure a way out when life gets difficult.
Mhm.
You have such a fascinating story. So here you are helping women deal with sales and doing some coaching and just doing amazing, amazing work.
Mhm.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Oh, recently
And
I
I
was
want you to
told
listen to this. Just be careful
yes.
before you answer. You're going to listen to this in 5 years from now,
Mhm.
and you're going to laugh because you're going to have gone so much farther than you've
I
ever
know.
imagined. So just be careful how you answer this.
That was literally what I was about to say is someone reframed my perspective of what I thought boards were. When you create a vision board, it's almost putting a ceiling on what you could actually achieve within the next year. So now I call them action boards, and I literally put things on there that I'm going to actively work towards. So this question is just so nuanced because when I see myself, gosh, even 12 months from now, I know I'm going to be a completely different person. So to think 5 years from now is just wild to me. Like I won't even recognize this version of myself talking to you right now. But I think the first things that come to mind is I want to be a thought leader in the space and I want to show women what's possible when they decide to back themselves wholeheartedly before they have 100% certainty, before they know if this is the career that they want to do. It's just that backing that they go, I'm going to make it no matter what. And I want that to be on such a global scale that I'm recognized by most people in the sales space. Um, I also want to have impacted over I see this is the scary thing to give a number because I've got 1,700 women in my community now. If that even
That's crazy, by the way, Brooke. That's very impressive.
thank you. Thank you. If I can say in 5 years that I have impacted and touched the lives of 10,000 women, that would be amazing to me.
So my next question to you would be, what milestones would you have to achieve, or what barriers would you have to break to serve as a catalyst to get you there? What do you think? Is it
I
just a
have
numbers game?
well, to an extent, but I know, and I would be really disappointed if the person in 5 years was exactly the same as the person I am now. There's gonna be
Yeah.
so many identity deaths that are gonna happen between now and then. I wanna be able to look back at this and go, "Wow, you were so full of hope and your energy is just amazing," but I want to not recognize myself. I wanna be completely different, and this is what I was talking to you about earlier around I've had so many identity deaths. I've had to, go from being an employee to entrepreneur, from entrepreneur to business owner, from business owner in the millions to multi-millions to hundreds of millions. Each version of me at each level is completely different. So
Yeah.
from 5 years to now, I know where I want to be and what I want to do, but the version of me and to think of all the obstacles that I'm going to need to overcome is just such a hard thing to answer because there's going to be so many, there's obstacles every single day.
Yeah.
Um, but bring them
But with
on.
that mindset that's so big and grandiose, you gotta go all in. You gotta put all the chips in. Because it's like, in
Mhm.
order for because you got to create opportunities that force you to kill your old version of yourself. For
Right.
example, you go all in on a relationship and it doesn't work out and you're completely crushed and devastated. And then you go, hey, it's time to hit the gym. It's time to change my life. It's time to
Mhm.
completely kill the old person of myself.
Mhm.
So I'm unrecognizable moving forward. And
Mhm.
then I don't need to worry about that's who I was because I don't need to say, hey, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't this because that person I've already killed.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
people with that mindset is you got to take insane risks. You got to constantly
Yeah.
go all in, and you almost have to be addicted to the pain of failure because that is the leverage and to catapult yourself to the next stage of your life. It's a tough
Hmm.
game to be in.
They're springboards. I see every opportunity that, I mean, I don't even like to say fail because to me, I reframe it in my mind as it being either a blessing or a lesson. And
Yeah.
every lesson that I learn is a springboard into my next level. And I love that. I crave it. Everything you want is behind one difficult conversation. So I'm constantly having difficult conversations. I'm constantly putting myself out there. I don't veer away from rejection. Say no to me a million times. I know that's going to take me closer to my next yes, my next big break. So I think for everybody, it's you need to just be constantly doing things,
Yeah.
putting yourself out there, saying yes to opportunities to find the right ones. But there's going to be a million wrong ones too, and they're going to show you these incredible lessons that are going to help you get to where you need to be.
Yeah. You truly have the mindset of a leader. And I think operating in the framework of sales is absolutely wonderful. You're carving out the skills you need to push yourself forward. But I think you can help people way beyond the scope of sales and mentorship and coaching. I think it can be a lot broader than that.
Mm.
And my question to you is, to a 21-year-old girl who's just, or a guy who's entering college, not very confident with what direction they want to take in life. Um, and, they want to find purpose in life and they want to, they don't come from much and they want to, get that Louis Vuitton bag. What would be the number one piece of advice you'd give to them?
I would tell them that the way you make decisions, you have to ask yourself two questions. Is it hard or does it suck? If it sucks, you come to that realization, you then need to ask yourself, is there anything within my control that I can do to make it suck less? And if the answer is yes, then you need to ask yourself, when I cross that finish line, when I get my degree and I've got it in my hand, is it going to be worth this effort? And if the answer is no, quit. The second question, is it hard? Same thing. Is it hard? Is my effort that I put into this, the hours, the effort, the energy, is it going to be worth it when I cross that finish line? If the answer is yes, stick with it. If the answer is no, quit. I
Yeah.
think we don't have the mentality of quitting fast enough. We hold on to things for so long. I mean, look at me. I held on to my teaching and my stability and my security for so long. For what? For what? If I had let that go, would I have been would I have got to the same point I am now faster? Yes, I would have. The truth is 100% certainty does not exist. It only exists in hindsight. So why can't we normalize taking action at being 50% certain or 40% certain? Just
Mm,
move. That'd be my
well
advice.
said. Brilliant advice. Uh, Brooke, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Michael. It's been lovely chatting. It's gone so fast.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I feel like we could talk for much, much longer.
And we're just feeding off each other right now.
Yeah.